Byakuya Kuchiki was stunned by Ichigo's power. The boy's ability, his bankai as he called it, allowed him to exceed any of Byakuya's known expectations. A mere human had managed to achieve something that most captains took longer, if not his entire lifetime, to master. And the boy was proficient, able to outspeed his own bankai, Shinbon Sakura. He moved like a flash of white. Only the hue of his black blade could be seen as it collided with all of the tiny blades of Shinbon Sakura, causing Byakuya to stagger and be on the back foot as he found himself attacked multiple times by Ichigo. "What's the matter, Byakuya? Am I moving too fast for you? If so, I can slow it down, or maybe you might want me to go a little faster." "Your arrogance will be your downfall. I'll admit, this power of yours is impressive. But if you were truly wise, you should have cut me down when you had the chance. Because now, I am going to crush you. Now, Bankai, Shinbon Sakura, Kageyoshi." Ichigo would find himself surrounded, as it seemed as though a swirling hall of swords stood before him. "In all my time, you are but the second opponent who has ever seen my Shinbon Sakura Kageyoshi. Consider yourself honored, Ichigo. For me to have to use this, it means I truly intend to take your life. I told you to give it all you got, Byakuya. No need to hold back against me." "Very well then." Suddenly, swords would begin to appear in Byakuya's hands. Despite the speed that was increased, Ichigo still felt like he could keep up with him. That was until his foot was caught in the ground by one of Byakuya's blades. Another one stabbing him. First, his right foot, his left thigh, a slash to the back, his now pristine white stained with crimson red blood, before he pointed at his right shoulder, the arm that held his blade. "Hado number 4, Byakurai." A blast of reishi would shoot through his arm, rendering it numb. How did you... "What? Do you think that I've gotten faster?" "No, not quite. The power of Shinbon Sakura Kageyoshi. It condenses the power of my blades into sharp outward bursts that can be used effectively. I've just managed to grind your momentum with a series of movements that even you can't anticipate. But like I've said, there's no reason to feel shame. You have fought well, but like I told you from the very start, you will not be lucky a second time with me." "Damn. This is the end. Ichigo." Before Byakuya knew what hit him, Ichigo was still moving. It couldn't be. He had stabbed him in key areas He had cut him at the precise places. The pain. There was no way he could ignore it. That was impossible. So how? I'm sorry, Byakuya, but there's something you just don't know about me. I have the injuries of 4 people. What? Before I came here, the others had all fought in excruciating battles. And I feel every one of their scars. They're a part of me. This sounds a little crazy, but I've kind of gotten to the point where I can fight through the pain. Don't get me wrong, it hurts like hell. I can barely even grip my sword right now. But there's something else. Something that's causing me to keep going. I've had a lot of help getting here, I won't deny that. If I had tried to do this on my own, I would have died a long time ago. But thankfully enough, I did have help. People who have been looking out for me, even when I wasn't there to see it. So I'm sorry, but I can't lose to you, Byakuya. Ichigo would move forward, cutting away at Byakuya as he summoned more blades to his hands, striking him in the arm and returning every blow that Byakuya dealt to him. For every stab, Ichigo would give a stab. For every slash, Ichigo would give a slash. It got to the point where Byakuya was striking at Ichigo. He stabbed him in the shoulder, and Ichigo ran right through it just to hit him back in the shoulder. Any smart man would have retreated. Half of the times, it would have been more sensible for him to back away and plan his next strike, but it was like he was running towards death. All just so he could get to him. Was he that desperate to win? Was it that much of a burden to him that he would recklessly abandon all logic? For Byakuya, it felt terrifying. Because if this was really his determination, his resolve, then the question wasn't what would he do to win. The real question is, what wouldn't he do? Damn. I'm not done, Byakuya. We're just getting started. You're insane, Ichigo. Truly a madman. You're that desperate to defeat me. I told you, I won't stop. Until I win, I won't stop. You can throw 100 swords at me, 1,000 swords at me. Bust out as many bankais as you want. It won't change anything. I'm gonna keep coming at you with everything I've got. You're just gonna have to kill me. I don't know how much more I have left, but I'm putting everything I have into this next attack. So it's all or nothing, huh? Fine. Works better for me anyway. But I do have one question. Why? Why wouldn't you save Rukia? You're her brother. If you defeat me, then I'll tell you. Byakuya would condense his reishi around him, preparing to fire off his ultimate technique. Senbonzakura, Kageyoshi, Sunkei, Haku Tenin. This is everything I have. So, you even have this up your sleeve, Ichigo said. Unfortunately, I only know the one move by Zangetsu, the Getsuga Tensho. But I guess I need to put it all into it. Both of their auras would begin to flare. Byakuya surrounded by a figure of white, and Ichigo a figure of black. The shining lights would collide with the final clash of their abilities. Orihime and the others would watch on from a distance, seeing the large collision between the two of them. By the time the smoke cleared from the fired shots, a large slash would appear on Ichigo's chest. But still, with the help of his blade, he managed to stand, if only on one knee. As for Byakuya, he too would suffer a severe slash to the chest. You had enough, Ichigo said. If it's not, I can still... You asked me why I didn't save Rukia. A long time ago, I made a decision. There was a woman that I loved, but the law could not allow us to be together. The Kuchiki clan are one of the 4 noble clans of the Soul Society. I went against family. I went against law for the woman I loved. Our time together, while blissful, was brief. On her deathbed, I made her a promise that would make me once again break my own law. So I made a deal with my family. In exchange for allowing me to break the law one final time, then I would uphold the law all of my days, no matter what. Rukia was my wife's younger sister. I adopted her into the Kuchiki clan. At the grave of my parents, I made 2 vows. That this would be the last time that I would ever break the law, and that I would uphold the law all of my days. But why? Ichigo asked. How can we enforce the law if we ourselves cannot obey them? I'm sorry, Byakuya, Ichigo said. But that still doesn't make sense to me. If I had been in your position, I would have fought the law, no matter what it took. I see. This boy's fight was not with me, but it was with the law. Very well then. You have won, Ichigo Kurosaki. I will pursue Rukia no longer. Byakuya would disappear with Flash Step, leaving Ichigo alone as he cried out in victory. But while that battle had come to an end, the curtain was falling on the Soul Society. It all started underground, under the base of Central 46. Captain Unohana of Squad 4 and her lieutenant had come across the prone and laying body of Captain Hitsugaya Toshiro. And the perpetrators, Gin Ichimaru and Sosuke Aizen. Well, Captain Unohana, I have to give you credit. I thought that I had laid out the perfect plan with my gi guy. I never would have expected you to have figured it out. The decoy that you laid was well made. Even at multiple glances, I never would have been able to tell. But eventually, I was able to see for myself. And I could determine that something wasn't right. What is the meaning of this, Captain Aizen? The meaning? Nothing really. Just execution of strategy. That's all. Execution of strategy? Captain Aizen, your actions, they are repulsive. How could you do this? I simply did what needed to be done. Nothing more, nothing less. Believe me, I would have liked to have avoided a fight with Captain Hitsugaya, but he found himself determined, and I couldn't just turn him away. There's no point in running. Running? No, you're quite mistaken. Why would I need to run from the likes of you? Do you think that you're just going to get away with this, Aizen? Unohana's lieutenant readied herself, unleashing her Zanpakuto, only for Gin to transport them away. Don't worry yourself. This is probably the last time you and I will ever meet. It was fun while it lasted. At the same time, Rukia and Renji were teleported as well, as they found themselves back on top of the cliff of the execution site. Renji holding on to Rukia, as Sosuke Aizen stood with Kaname Tosen and with Gin Ichimaru. What the? Why, Captain Tosen? Captain Ichimaru? Aizen? Hello, Renji. If you would be so kind, please put down Rukia and back away. What the? Like hell. What's the meaning of this? Captain Aizen, all this time, it was you. I know. This is probably really hard for you to understand, but I don't feel like going into much of a lecture. You would be wise to simply let Rukia go. Though you have always been a problem child, haven't you, Renji? Immediately, Aizen would strike away at Renji, Rukia wanting him to let go so that she could spare him death. It dawned on her now that this was Aizen's betrayal. And worse, there was no chance of escape. Ichigo had been led down the mountain by the others, save for Chad and for Ginjo, who were missing. Chad must have helped them get far enough out of here. We need to catch up with them. I don't know about that, Uryu would say. Huh? What are you talking about? Can't you feel it? Feel what? Back up there on the cliff. It's Renji and Rukia. But wait, if they're there, where's Chad? At that same moment, an emergency message would be telegraphed by Unohana and her lieutenant to all of the Soul Society. Everyone could hear, from Soifan and Yoroichi to Captain Yamamoto, along with Ginjo, Shunsui, and Ukitake. All other captains, lieutenants, Soul Reapers, everyone was made aware of the truth. The death of those of Central 46, the betrayal of Sosuke Aizen, along with his accomplices, Gin Ichimaru and Kaname Tosen. This cannot be, Yamamoto would say, the flames of his Zanpakuto surrounding his three opponents. No, not Aizen. Well, old man, what do we do? Shunsui would ask. Kinda feels pointless for us to fight now, isn't it? With that, back at the cliffside, Aizen would begin his approach. As he prepared to pull out his Zanpakuto. It's obvious that you're not going to listen to reason, Renji. So it's time to cut off the problem at the source. No, please, Captain Aizen. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't hurt Renji. No, Rukia. I'm not leaving you to him. Don't do it. You'll die. You know, I never really cared for you, Captain Aizen. You always had a way of putting on airs. Respected the hell out of you, but you were always kind of a creep. At least now I can finally confirm it. What's the matter? Your ideal version of me not what you originally thought? Maybe. But in the end, you're nothing more but a four-eyed, creepy bastard. You're a son of a bitch and you can just go to hell if you think that I'm dropping Rukia for any reason. I don't give a damn if you're a captain, and I don't care how many people you have fighting beside you. I ain't scared. That's good. You have heart. At least you have something that's worth remembering, because it won't be because of your skills. Just as he was ready to bring down his blade upon them, it would be blocked, as the blood-stained MoonKnight shielded them. You need help, friend? Ichigo said. So, you're Sosuke Aizen, huh? I expected more than some Saturday morning cartoon villain. If that's really what you think of me. But I have to ask, how do you know my name? What's the matter? You afraid of not being the smartest man in the room? Yeah, I know your type. You act like you're so far ahead of everyone else. And what gives you that impression of me, Ichigo? I know your name as well. Because you're a smug-looking bastard. And if you want to know, you have some friends in the earth who aren't too fond of what you did to them. I see. So they survived. Well, things just keep getting more interesting. You managed to meet with some of my failed experiments. Failed experiments, huh? They gave me some good advice. If I ever came here, there was one captain I was specifically told not to trust. And that was you, Sosuke Aizen. Ichigo would back away along with Renji and Rukia. Do you think you can still run? No, but I know I can stay and fight. Besides, running from him would be pointless. I can buy you time, give you one opening. In that moment, you need to strike. Got it. This is going to hurt, Renji would say. But you need to bear with me. Now, roar! Zabimaru! The pieces of his bankai would begin to fly into the air, all surrounding Aizen. Launching a simultaneous attack, Ichigo, using his newly found power in his bankai, would race towards Sosuke Aizen. As he raised his blade to strike at him, Aizen would catch it with one finger, lowering it and delivering another devastating cut to Ichigo. Impressive. Not strong, but impressive. It's easy to see why you've been able to give captains trouble. Ichigo! In that moment, Ichigo would deliver a headbutt to Aizen. For Tosin and for Gin, they couldn't believe it. Aizen could tell that under those bandaged masks, he thought he could see a smirk. Eat a dick. Captain? Gin said with a worried look. It wasn't like Aizen to actually break out and smile, let alone laugh to such a degree. Oh, I'm sorry, Gin. It's just, of all the things he could have tried, he actually headbutted me. You did all of that for a few drops of blood. I must take it you are proud of yourself, aren't you? Your final act of defiance? A headbutt. Tell you what, Ichigo. I like you. And just for that, you've earned something from me. What? You earned grace. I originally had no plans of giving it to you, to any of you, but he flash-stepped to Rukia. You have earned my respects. You've earned some grace, and I will give it to you. He would then take out a small capsule. Using it, he would cover his hand in a green substance before punching a hole in Rukia's chest and pulling out some object. It looked like a stone wrapped in crystal. This is what I've been looking for. Do you know what it is? Surely you do. After all, Kisuke Urahara sent you, right? What? You don't know? And sometimes I wonder who's using who. What is it? This is the Hogyoku, one of Kisuke Urahara's crowning achievements. After all, he was once the head of the Science and Research Department, former captain of Squad 12. You see, Ichigo, there are 4 disciplines that Soul Reapers master. But, in a lifetime, they will reach a point where they plateau in strength. They reach a limit, and they cannot exceed it any further. But there are ways to circumvent that. The balance between Hollow and Soul Reaper. That is the key. If one can figure out a way to walk the line between both, even greater power can be experienced. In my time, I've tried numerous methods, whether it be turning a Soul Reaper into a Hollow, or turning Hollows into Soul Reapers. They've shown promises at varying stages, but nothing has really been able to give me what I'm looking for, except for this. This is a powerful weapon. Of course, Kisuke Urahara would agree, and he tried to destroy it, but sadly, that was one endeavor he could not succeed in. Thus, he tried to find another method. And I think you know what it is. He placed it inside of you, Rukia, the Hogyoku. But that wasn't enough, no. When you came to the world of the living, he offered you a Gigai, right? Another one of his crowning achievements. A Gigai that slowly zapped away the energy and the power of Soul Reapers, until they were reduced to nothing but mere humans. For this, Kisuke was banished. He used you, Rukia. All of this was of his own volition. He was never trying to help you. He used you to cover up his dirty little secret. But now you know the truth. And I think we're done here. Before Aizen could leave, however, he would be surrounded as Captain Kanamura would arrive, along with Soifun and Yoroichi, Jidambo and Kukaku, and other members, Soul Reapers, captains, lieutenants, and the like. They even had Chad slung over their shoulders, badly wounded. Just as Aizen thought that he could draw his blade maybe to stop them, using his spiritual pressure to push them back, he felt another hand, just as he was preparing to grip his Zanpakuto. I wouldn't try that if I were you. Huh? Soul disruption! A burst of Ryatsu, shot like an electrical current, would flow from Ginjo's hand to Aizen's Zanpakuto. You won't be able to use Shikai, let alone Bunkai. You've got nowhere to run. It's over. If you even think about moving, Yoroichi would say. You'll lose your head, Soifun added. I can see that. You even managed to bring another substitute Soul Reaper. Former substitute Soul Reaper. Right, former. Just another failure who couldn't get the job done. How could you, Aizen? What do you have to say for yourself? What do I have to say? What? Do you expect me to regret my choices? Am I supposed to feel ashamed? Aizen would grin, Soifan telling everyone to get back as a beam of light would descend upon Aizen, Tosin, and Gin. As they looked into the sky and saw the Minos Grande reaching out and grabbing them forth within the beams. As members were preparing to attack, Captain Yamamoto would stop them. No, those beams of light, they come from the source of Hueco Mundo. Once enveloped in them, the target is trapped in another reality. They are untouchable. What now, Aizen? Kanamura would yell. And for you, Tosin, how could you do this? You said that you were one who strived for justice. How could you turn your back on us? The justice I strive for is one that you can never understand. You can never comprehend what truly lies in my heart. Why, Ukitake would say to Aizen, what do you hope to gain? You're blinded by your self-righteousness, Ukitake. None of you know the truth of this world. From the very beginning, no one has ever stood truly at the top. Not man, not God, not beast, not soul reaper, hollow, or hell lord. There is a vacancy at the top, one that I wish to fill, because I alone will stand at the top. I will become something greater than a king, greater than a god, greater than a soul reaper. I will become the one above all. The one above all? What's he saying? From this day forth, I declare war on all of the realms. You are all my enemies. And in the end, you will be conquered by my ambition. But until then, continue to grow. Get stronger. It's pointless. But do whatever you have to do to give yourselves a fair shot. As for you, Ryoka boy, do not take my grace lightly. I wish to see you again. Show me what you can really do. Aizen, Tosin, and Gin would disappear. Medical aid would be given. Orihime working on both Chad and Ichigo, as other members were taken care of as well. Among them, Renji and Captain Kuchiki. As Unohana would oversee the medical operations, a new problem had now emerged within the Soul Society. An emergency meeting was called for among the captains. What are we to do now? The betrayal of Sosuke Aizen is not something to be taken lightly, Captain Yamamoto said. But you heard him, Soifan would chime in. He's declared war not just on us, but on all the realms. You know what that means. But we can't get them involved. You've heard about the conflict going on in the beast realm. It's complete anarchy. And what about Earth? They have powerful fighters. They're just humans. They won't be able to help us. What about the Kami realm? Sir, we're just getting reports from the Kami realm. What is it? It seems that there has been some activity going on within the realm of Olympus. Lord Zeus has fallen. What? Zeus is dead? But with his spiritual energy, he wouldn't have been set to die for at least another 500 years. It seems there was a coup, sir, and he was assassinated. Members of the coalition of deities are gathering now. We are only just getting word ourselves. As you know, we no longer have Central 46. This is only going from bad to worse. The Beast Realm, now the Kami Realm. Things haven't been this bad since that hell fiasco on Earth in 1999. And now with Aizen, who knows how far this betrayal goes? We must be prepared. Regardless as to what he is planning, we will not allow this to be the end of us. We will do what we have always done. If Aizen is foolish enough to declare war, then war is what he will get. But he will pay for his arrogance. His foolishness will be his undoing. We are captains of the Soul Society. We will not be shaken. We will not fall. As of now, our number one priority, the capture and execution of Sosuke Aizen and all those who stand with him. So, it looks like we're going to be going to war, Kenpachi said. This is going to be interesting. A war, Mayuri would think to himself. A chance to push my mind to the next level. But what will we do with the Ryoka? The ones that came here? Given the circumstance, there is no reason for us to pursue them any further. We will treat their wounds and allow them to go home. I am rescinding the execution order on Rukia Kuchiki, and she is acquitted of all charges. Now is not the time to make enemies out of allies. That boy's power, it could serve us in the future. I want a chance to see what that Diego kid is capable of. Diego? I heard reports about an Ezekiel. Granted, he's a Quincy, but he's powerful. And what about that mysterious author we heard about as well? He's the quiet type, but there's no telling what type of tricks he has up his sleeve. And then there's Ichigo, who achieved Bankai in a record time. All four of them. They are bizarre cases, to say the least. Maybe. But with that type of power working with us, Shunsui would say, then maybe we have a chance, Ukitake said. We will consider all of this, Captain Yamamoto would say. In the meantime, Ginjo would be in the infirmary with Ichigo and Chad. As Ichigo would be the first to awaken, he saw Ginjo sitting by his bedside. So, Sleeping Beauty's finally up. How long was I out? About 4 days or so. Orihime worked overtime healing the both of you. And Aizen? He got away along with his companions. But no need to worry. Manhunts are being put out as we speak. No matter where he tries to hide, they'll find him eventually. I want to face him again. You hardly did anything. If he didn't give you grace, you'd probably be dead. And now you want another shot? Of course I do! That bastard. He's not gonna get away with this. Besides, he's just gonna come back anyway. If I don't get stronger, there's no telling what he'll do. I won't let him hurt my friends. He's barely survived a battle, and yet he's already thinking about the next fights that are to come. Well, before you do anything, right now you need to focus on recovering your strength. You all do. And I'll go let everyone else know that you're up. But Ichigo? Yeah. You did good. All of you. Everyone's safe. And we're gonna make it home in one piece. That's what's most important. Hearing that news, Ichigo would be relieved. As he allowed himself to drift back off to sleep, he found himself awakening in his inner world. Except now he wasn't alone. He looked to his left, and he saw another him, dressed kind of like a street punk, but it was him. And what the hell do you want? Who are you? I'm Diego, you idiot. Ichigo would look to his right, and he saw two more. The name is Ezekiel. Ezekiel Nakamura. At your service, my friend. Author. Hold on. Ezekiel? Arthur? Diego? You guys. You're the ones who've been... Yeah. We've all been occupying this body. But now was the first time that all four personalities were able to speak together. All right, losers. Attention. They all looked forward to see that Zangetsu was standing before them. The white Ichigo. Or the white Arthur. Or the white Ezekiel. Or white Diego. I'm none of that. I'm simply Zangetsu. The reason why I called you here is because these two want to talk to you. So, play nice and try not to make a mess of things. Standing behind him, old man Zangetsu. And a woman. A woman dressed in white. Her beauty, unlike anything that they had ever seen. Who are you? Mi amor, Ezekiel said. Damn, she's hot, Diego said. Milady, Arthur said. Greetings, all of you. I'm so glad that I could finally make your acquaintance. I'm sorry that it's taken so long, but Zangetsu believed that it would be best to wait until after your ordeal, to gather you all here at the most appropriate of times. Who are you? My name is Khonshu. And I've wanted to speak to you all for so long. But why us? Ichigo would ask. That's such a silly question. Why wouldn't a mother want to speak to her children? This concludes Bleach Midnight. What if Ichigo was Moon Knight? Season 1, Part 12, the Season 1 finale. After 2 weeks, non-stop uploads, we have finally come to the end of Season 1. Like I say, when we get to the end of a season, I just have to take the time to say thank you to everyone who has been a fan of this series. This was something that it came to me like off the top of my head at the time. I wondered if I could pull something like this off, if people would really be invested in taking like the personalities of Ichigo's different abilities and pretty much making them into their own things, such as the Quincy, the Visor, the Fullbringer, and basically rolling in a lot of plots earlier and infusing it into the Moon Knight mythos. Since while Moon Knight has become more popular recently in fan bases, it's not, say, on par with a lot of other Marvel heroes. So it definitely takes a lot of digging, a lot of research, and just a lot of study to try to make something like this work. But all in all, I have been very satisfied with the turnout for this series. I've really looked forward to everything that's come from making it, and I look forward to what's to come in the future when we delve into later arcs, because like I've said before, Bleach Midnight is basically going to be the crown jewel of this universe, if you will. Like, not say that it's the only thing, but it's the main thing. Like, the events of this series are going to have ramifications on like a lot of stuff that happens in other series that I do. Not directly or like all the time, but it will have big effects. So when a lot of stuff happens in other stuff, like what if Revi was the Punisher, or what if Miles Morales was Sukuna's vessel, all these other stories that are sharing this universe in one way or another, you will find traces that will tie back to this series. And, you know, I'm not trying to do like the MCU where everything has to be watched to be enjoyed. But I'm just saying that if you do become invested in the Defenderverse, watching the other series, it'll be able to connect everything a lot better. But all in all, I had a lot of fun making this series. I was really satisfied that you guys enjoyed it as well. And I look forward to making more in the near future. And I definitely can't wait to come back with season 2. So I thank you all. Like I always say, I can't do it without you. You make the channel grow. You make the core grow. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of season 1. That's going to do it for the end of today's video. Thanks for watching Bleach Midnight, What If Ichigo Was Moon Knight, Season 1, Part 12. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with Power Core Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.